Your person has reached a turning point. For so long, they've been carrying the weight of a heavy mask, one built from fear, pride, and emotional protection. But that mask has grown too heavy to bear. They're exhausted from pretending, from hiding how they really feel, especially when it comes to you. The truth is, they want you, and only you. No distractions, no confusion. Just the raw, vulnerable truth of their heart. They know it's time to stop running and to finally be honest with themselves and with you. There's a stirring inside them now, something powerful and unshakable. It's the voice of their true self, rising up after being silent for too long. Your person is ready to step into their full presence, not just as a partner, but as a strong, grounded, masculine force. They've come to realize that strength isn't about control or suppression, but about authenticity, accountability, and emotional depth. They want to show up for you in a way they never have before, not as someone hiding behind layers, but as someone fully aligned with their truth. Their connection with you has been nothing short of transformative. The time they've spent with you, whether brief or drawn out, smooth or tumultuous, has cracked something open in them. You've awakened them in ways they never expected. They feel something with you that they can't explain through logic. It's deeper than words, more powerful than desire. It's energetic. It's soulful. It's that unshakable sense of knowing you, even before you fully knew each other. This bond goes beyond surface attraction. The chemistry between you is natural and undeniable, yes, but it's the intimacy that moves them. The moments of deep emotional connection, the way you listen, the way your presence soothes their inner chaos, it heals them. It reaches places inside them that they've kept hidden, even from themselves. You've made them feel seen, not just admired. Understood, not just wanted. That's rare. That's sacred. Right now, they're moving through a process of release. They're letting go of outdated beliefs, emotional baggage, and the ways they've sabotaged their own happiness. They're reflecting on their life, on the choices they've made, the fears that have held them back, and the patterns that kept repeating. They see now how much of that was rooted in unhealed wounds. You've been a mirror for them in this journey. Just as you took time to put yourself first and realign with your truth, they're now doing the same. And it's not easy, but it's necessary. What surprised them most is how deeply attracted they are to your self-respect. Watching you step into your power, prioritize your peace, and hold boundaries has stirred something profound in them. It made them realize what they've been missing, not just in love, but in life. You've inspired them to grow, to elevate, to stop settling for less than what feels true. Your evolution shifted their perspective in ways you probably don't even know. And in that shift, their feelings for you have only deepened. They're no longer confused. No longer sitting on the fence. They're ready. Ready to take this connection to the next level, to stop holding back, stop playing it safe, and start moving toward you with intention. The past may have been filled with false starts, on and off energy, or circumstances that always seemed to interfere. Maybe you both wanted the connection, but never at the same time. Maybe fear got in the way. Timing, misunderstandings, emotional walls, it all created distance when deep down, both of you were craving closeness. But now, everything is different. Your person is finally in a place where they feel mentally and emotionally prepared to charge ahead. They're not expecting perfection. They know relationships require work, vulnerability, and patience. What they're saying, what they're finally feeling ready to act on, is that they want to show up for this connection. Fully. Without pretense or defense. They've realized that the risk of losing this connection is far greater than the risk of being vulnerable. This isn't just about romance. It's about truth. It's about choosing love over and over again, even when it's scary, even when it requires growth. Your person sees now that the connection you share is worth it. It's rare, it's real, and it's rooted in something much deeper than passing emotions. They don't want to keep love at arm's length anymore. They want to reach for it, with you. They're not promising perfection, but they are offering presence. They are offering depth. They are offering their true self, the one who's finally ready to love without fear, to build something honest, and to meet you where you are, strong, whole, and ready. Ever since we met, I've noticed that my personal growth has accelerated in ways I never imagined possible. It's as if something within me was unlocked, pushing me to evolve at a pace I wasn't prepared for, but desperately needed. The changes didn't start gradually, they hit me like a wave. Even during the periods when we were apart, your presence lingered in my thoughts, nudging me toward becoming a better version of myself. In fact, it was during the separation that I began to truly understand the depth of the transformation happening within me. Looking back, I realized that for the longest time, I had been moving through life without truly questioning what was real or meaningful. I followed what I saw around me, people chasing after material success, external validation, and the illusion of happiness. I didn't have a clear understanding of what was right or wrong. I was simply mimicking what seemed to work for others, hoping that if I did the same, I'd find some sense of fulfillment too. But deep down, something always felt off. I knew that the world I was seeing wasn't showing me the whole picture. There was something missing, something I couldn't quite identify until I met you. From the very beginning, there was something remarkably different about you. You didn't seem to be governed by the same rules as everyone else. You carried yourself with a freedom that was both captivating and rare. You weren't chasing trends, trying to fit in, or altering yourself to meet anyone's expectations. You simply were, and that authenticity was powerful. It stirred something in me. You inspired me without even trying, just by being yourself. Being around you made me want to reevaluate my priorities, my lifestyle, and most importantly, my mindset. You helped me see how deeply entrenched I was in my own ego. For so long, my life revolved around my own happiness and ambitions. I was obsessed with success, achievement, and recognition, to the point that I became indifferent to the emotions and struggles of those around me. I was isolated by my self-centeredness, unaware of how it was affecting my relationships and my own well-being. But after meeting you, I started to break free from that mindset. I began to let go of habits and addictions that no longer served me. You showed me, in both subtle and profound ways, that there is more to life than personal gain. That real strength lies in compassion, vulnerability, and connection. I'll never forget our first conversation. It was one of the most profound moments of my life. It wasn't just the words we exchanged, it was how they made me feel. You made me feel safe, seen, and genuinely understood. I felt excited and happy, not the fleeting kind of happiness that disappears quickly, but a lasting sense of joy and connection. Even now, whenever I think about that moment, my heart still beats faster. I smile instinctively. It was a moment that made me feel alive in the truest sense. It grounded me and lifted me up all at once. That memory has become a part of me, a point of reference for what genuine connection feels like. What struck me most about you was the way my soul felt supported in your presence. It was as though you saw me not just for who I was, but also for who I could become. You weren't judging me. You didn't try to fix me or mold me into someone else. Instead, you accepted me, flaws and all. That kind of acceptance is rare, and I didn't even realize how much I needed it until I experienced it with you. I remember thinking, almost in disbelief, is it possible that someone like you could feel the same way about me? After that day, I found it difficult to go even a few hours without wanting to talk to you, hear your voice, or know how you were doing. There was a sense of peace and contentment that washed over me just from thinking about you. I felt grounded, calm, and inexplicably joyful. You brought out the best in me, often without even trying. I didn't have to pretend or perform. I could just be myself, and for the first time, that felt like enough. Your energy was unlike anything I had encountered before. It was warm, familiar, and yet incredibly refreshing. There was an ease about you that made it possible for me to open up without fear. I felt like I could share my dreams, my insecurities, and my failures without being judged. That emotional safety is something I will always be grateful for. It allowed me to grow not just as a person, but as a human capable of deeper love, empathy, and understanding. To this day, the thought of you brings light into my world. You helped me rediscover parts of myself that I had buried beneath years of self-interest and fear. You taught me how to connect, to care, and to truly live with purpose. You were the mirror that reflected both my flaws and my potential, and for that, I will always hold a special place for you in my heart. Both of you are quietly missing each other, even if neither of you is saying it out loud. Beneath the surface, there's an undeniable ache, a shared loneliness that stems from being apart from someone who once felt like home. Though you've both made progress on your personal paths, finding balance and working through individual challenges, the truth remains, your hearts still yearn for each other. There's a deep, unspoken craving to feel that familiar presence again, to share your thoughts, your emotions, and the simple joys of life with the one person who truly understands you. This connection between you wasn't just about romance, it was about emotional companionship, deep understanding, and the beautiful rhythm of two souls resonating together. Now, in the silence, both of you are beginning to understand how essential that connection really was. Even in your separate healing journeys, there's an emptiness that no amount of self-work can fill. Because some things, like true companionship, aren't meant to be faced alone. You're realizing that strength and balance don't mean detachment, rather, they prepare you to love more fully, more consciously. Your absence is not going unnoticed. Your partner is feeling the loss more deeply than they ever expected. They never thought you'd actually let them walk away without a fight, without anger, resentment, or emotional outbursts. That graceful silence, your calm acceptance, has struck them harder than any confrontation could. They're stunned that the person who once showered them with affection, who laughed and flirted and made life feel vibrant, could let go so peacefully. But what they may not understand is that your silence isn't indifference, it's maturity. It's love choosing dignity over drama. And it's this very composure that has made them stop and truly reflect. Now they're reminiscing about all the moments you shared, the playfulness in your voice, the inside jokes, the comforting presence of someone who saw their flaws and stayed anyway. They miss your warmth, your light-hearted teasing, your deep emotional availability. Those memories have become louder in your absence, echoing in the quiet spaces of their life. The truth is, no one else compares to what you brought into their world. No matter who they talk to, where they go, or what they do, there's a part of them that's always looking for you in everyone else, and not finding it. They aren't interested in building anything new with anyone else. Emotionally, they've withdrawn, because their heart knows exactly where it wants to be. You are the person they want to share their energy, emotions, and love with. Being disconnected from you has made them realize the depth of what they lost. They're not just missing a partner, they're missing their emotional safe space, their best friend, their muse. There's a heavy sense of regret weighing on them now. They're starting to see how they may have breadcrumbed you, offering only small pieces of themselves when you were giving your all. At the time, they may have been too distracted, too unsure, or too scared to meet your energy. But now, in hindsight, the clarity is sobering. They realize that they took your love for granted. They recognize how much emotional weight you carried in the relationship, how many moments you gave without asking for much in return. And that realization is breaking them down inside. They are emotionally worn, feeling hollow without your presence. They try to go about their day, but there's a lingering emptiness that follows them wherever they go. Life just doesn't feel as full without your love, your laughter, your spark. What they once viewed as ordinary moments are now precious memories, your hand in theirs, your voice calling their name, your smile lighting up a room. And that's what they want back, not just the relationship, but the life they had with you in it. They're starting to come to terms with the truth, you were their counterpart. Not just someone who fit into their life, but someone who completed it in a way they didn't fully understand until now. Your love, your energy, and your presence filled gaps they didn't even know they had. Now that those spaces are empty again, the contrast is impossible to ignore. So, quietly, perhaps even stubbornly, they're preparing to do everything they can to find their way back to you. They want to show up differently this time, not with half measures or uncertainty, but with a full heart and clear intentions. They want to heal the wounds, bridge the distance, and rebuild what was lost. Because at the end of the day, they're beginning to see what you've known all along: real love doesn't just walk away. It finds its way back, stronger, wiser, and more grateful than before.